Hello, everyone. Today's article is titled Hidden Workers Raise Controversy. It covers the detention of hundreds of workers, including South Koreans, at a Hyundai battery plant construction site in Georgia, USA. The case highlights global labor shortages, the complexity of subcontracting, and the tension between legal compliance and business needs. Let's pause for a moment before we move into the article. We'll watch a short clip related to today's topic. As you watch, think about what ideas or questions it brings to mind.
So we are definitely watching the developments at the Hyundai and LG Energy Solution battery plants in Georgia, of course. The South Korean government is working to bring some 300 citizens home after they were detained by U.S. officials in an immigration raid last week. Now, this is over possible unlawful employment practices. It was the U.S. Homeland Security Department's largest single-site raid in its history.
Now that we've seen the clip, let's take a step back. Before we dig into the details, it helps to explore a broader idea behind the story. This will guide how we understand what follows. This brings us to the theme of labor shortages in a globalized economy. Across industries, whether farming, shipbuilding, or tech manufacturing, companies struggle to find enough willing and qualified workers. When local labor pools shrink, firms turn to subcontractors or migrant workers. This creates opportunities for mobility, but also risks, blurred responsibility, undocumented hiring, and sudden government crackdowns. The question is how to keep businesses running smoothly while ensuring fairness and legality in employment. What do you think is the biggest challenge for companies when they face labor shortages? Finding enough workers or staying fully compliant with the law? Labor shortages force companies into a delicate balancing act. On one hand, production deadlines and supply commitments demand a steady workforce. If jobs are physically demanding or pay is modest, local workers may avoid them, leaving companies scrambling to fill roles. On the other hand, strict compliance with immigration and labor laws requires careful vetting of every worker and contractor. Subcontracting adds another layer of complexity. Responsibility can become blurred, and companies may not even realize unauthorized hiring has occurred until regulators step in. The real challenge is combining efficiency with legality, keeping factories running without cutting corners. Firms that succeed in this balance not only protect themselves from legal risks, but also build long-term trust with governments, employees, and consumers. Now, to understand this article better, we need to familiarize ourselves with key vocabulary. We'll go over 3 important expressions, learn their meanings, and see them in action with example sentences. Let's start with detainee. It means a person who is being held by authorities such as police or immigration officials. In the article, hundreds of workers at the Hyundai plant were described as detainees. Here's an example. The detainees were questioned before being released by immigration officers. Next, we have blur. It means to make something unclear or less distinct. In the article, extra layers of subcontracting can blur responsibility for illegal hiring. Here is an example. The new policy blurs the line between temporary and permanent employees. Finally, let's look at tall order. It is an idiom meaning something very difficult to accomplish. In the article, following every immigration and labor rule perfectly is described as a tall order. Here is an example. Finishing the project in just 2 weeks will be a tall order. Now that we've explored the main themes and vocabulary, let's reinforce our understanding with a summary dictation exercise. Listen carefully and fill in the blanks. U.S. officials detained 475 people, including over 300 South Koreans, at a Hyundai battery plant under construction in Georgia, accusing them of unauthorized employment. The raid highlights global labor demand issues and how complex subcontracting can blur responsibility for legal hiring. Similar issues appear in farming, construction, and manufacturing worldwide. Companies must balance the need to hire for tough-to-fill job openings versus strict compliance with immigration and labor laws. Let's check the answers and review what each word means. The first answer is unauthorized. It means not officially approved, permitted, or allowed by law or authority. The second answer is subcontracting. It means the practice of hiring another company or individual to perform part of a larger project. The third answer is balance. It means to maintain fairness or stability between two opposing needs or forces. The fourth answer is tough to fill. It means difficult to staff or find qualified workers for certain job positions. The fifth answer is compliance. It means the act of following or obeying rules, standards, or laws. Well done, everyone! We've explored how labor shortages, subcontracting, and compliance issues create serious challenges in today's economy. We also learned vocabulary to describe these problems clearly. Here's a final reflection. Looking ahead, do you think global labor shortages will get better, get worse, or stay the same? Why? We'll revisit this in our next review session. Until then, keep reflecting on how the future of work depends on fairness, responsibility, and sustainable labor practices.